welcome to A Filthy Talk, a Filthy Lots live weekly panel discussion show coming to you live from North Vancouver on the traditional territories of the Squamish Nation. We'd like to recognize the privilege to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Trevor Gemma, this is Roz Young, and returning as captain of the Starship chat room, Ash Turner.
Heyo.
Yeah. Let's kick things off really quickly here with nerd news. Do you have anything for nerd news that you want to talk about?
I know you have nerd news, and then I want to talk about your nerd news.
Oh, okay. So first things first, I saw earlier today that Harley Quinn animated series season 3, I'm super stoked about. And they've...
Show is so good.
Yeah, it's really good. And they've recorded a full first pass of the whole season's sound.
Sure.
So voiceover
all
and sound is all done. So it's close, but they didn't give a date, but I was like, yeah. But the theme of the season is...
It's a pretty exciting end of the last season.
Yeah, this is a little spoilery, but I'm just going to say it. At the end of the last season, basically it ends with Poison Ivy and Harley deciding to get into a relationship with each other. And having like the whole first 2 seasons exploring Harley's toxic relationship with the Joker, the theme of season 3 is how does someone who's been in toxic relationships now navigate a successful, healthy relationship? And I was like, whoa, for a freaking superhero animated show, this is gonna be rad.
Supervillain.
Yeah, whatever, sure, yeah. She's not that super. She has no superpowers.
That's the problem you have with that distinction. I'm like, I think they're villains and not heroes. And you're like, I don't think they're super at all.
Pretty heroic in the show. Like, they're not really villainous. It's like anti-hero.
Well, they like go to the docks to have a chat, and Poison Ivy's just like murdering all of these
yeah, they are villains, but it's so...
Even if you do bad things and destroy the environment, I don't know that you deserve to be dissolved in acid. That's all I'm saying. Like, you could go to jail.
There's a lot of humans. We can spare a few to some acid. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And then the other thing is that John DiMaggio has... wait, did I say that right? Yeah, I did. Has signed on as Bender for the reboot of Futurama. Oh, not reboot?
Because there's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid. Like, you have to have Bender. You have to have Bender.
There's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I think it would be trash without Bender. Yeah.
You know who might also want to weigh in on this? Our guests.
This is true. So joining us today from the Critical Hit Show, special guests, Joanna Gaskell. I said it right.
You did. You said it right.
And Eric Fell. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
You're welcome. So happy to be here.
Yeah. John, you mentioned that Futurama, you're excited about DiMaggio?
I am now excited about Futurama coming back, yes.
Yeah?
John DiMaggio is awesome. And it just wouldn't have been the same without everybody coming back.
No.
Yeah, I'm really glad that it did, because that is one of my favorite things about Futurama is whenever you read about it, it says like, in the most recent series finale, just keeps coming back, and I love it. It makes me so happy.
And you were talking a bit about, like, as a professional voice actor, and I mean, you both do professional acting and voice acting, how important it is for people to advocate for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I thought was really nice that he sort of brought to the forefront, was that this wasn't about, I want more money. This was about, just looking at the entire industry, the voiceover industry. I am not as ingrained in the voiceover industry as, say, for example, Joanna. But I've done a little bit. But yeah, no, just sort of pointing out, it's like, hey, you know what? Everybody needs to be treated better in this industry, which is really nice.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the fight is just always ongoing, really, for talent to just sort of stand up for themselves. It's a weird industry, the whole film entertainment industry is a weird place. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm always proud when I see talent standing up for themselves and asking for what they need. Because, I mean, the show wouldn't be the same without Bender. So
no.
Let's get let's get John DiMaggio happy and doing his thing, and everybody else will, enjoy.
Where else would you insert Girder?
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
I want to say a quick thank you to Lothar on Prime for all of the gifted subs. Holy crap, thank you.
Amazing.
Jeez. Okay, so the Critical Hit Show. For those at home who do not know, it is a local plays at the Rio Theatre, but you guys have also traveled around a bit, right?
We have.
Yeah, we've done a bit in Seattle. We did some stuff in Victoria ages ago, but it's mostly been live at the legendary Rio Theatre
Damn right.
Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah, and it is a improv meets D&D show where you guys do D&D live. Do you want to tell the audience a bit describe the show?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, Eric, you created the show, so you start us off.
I mean, but the best way to describe it is it is a live improvised fantasy epic, inspired by such things as tabletop games, and a lot of other stuff go in there. It is a comedy show using the framework of a tabletop role-playing game. Because we're up and running around and moving around.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly Joanna's up moving around. I'm sitting at a table. I get to, I'm the DM. I just sit back and do terrible voices.
No, they're wonderful, wonderful voices. That's one of the things that I really like about the show, actually, is the fact that we're not just your terrible voices, because they're wonderful, but the fact that we are up and moving around, because it changes it a bit from a lot of the tabletop comedy shows that are out there, where it's people sitting around a table, but we're up and acting it out. And
So I understand that you wear costume?
well, some of us wear costumes.
Two of you.
Three?
Two.
I mean, Barbara wears.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about my plaid.
Oh yeah, that's a costume.
I wear the same plaid shirt every time.
Yeah, it's a uniform.
It's a gray plaid shirt.
Yeah, less a costume as a
red piping.
uniform.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, Dr. Martin's boots.
Do you always remain seated as the DM? Like, do you ever get up and embody an NPC?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
There
yes.
was a couple times.
There's been a couple times, because there's a couple puppets that I do, and sometimes I have to get up. I do a character named Dominic Prumpet, who is he's a ghost.
Yeah, he's a ghost.
He's a ghost, and he's the father of one of the characters, and he's a little puppet, and his voice is Orson Welles in those outtakes, those Parmesan wine outtakes.
Those outtakes?
So I'll get those ones. If you ever look up Orson Welles outtakes, you'll see him, because he just shows up and he's like, the French champagne is known for its excellence. So I just took that and I made that into a guy, and I'll get up and move around with him sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, hey. We have a question for our critical hit friends from Unreasonable Lumpy in the chat, who wants to know, I've always wanted to see Critical Hit. Do you have to be there consistently to understand what's going on?
I'm there all the time, and I don't understand what's going on. No, we always.
That's a good question,
Yeah,
though.
that is a
Yeah.
really good question,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we've gotten that, because it's like now there's 10 years
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it's our 10th anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
Insane.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
you very much.
you.
No, we make sure that, like, we know that every single time is somebody's first time.
Yeah.
So we go out of our way to make it new audience member friendly. We do a little thing off the top where we chat about, the show itself.
Yeah.
We sometimes do recaps.
Sometimes, if we can remember.
If we can remember to do recaps.
But honestly, it's more of a comedy show than than a D&D story. I mean, we have this frame of the role-playing, role-playing world, and it does continue. So for people who come all the time, they can sort of enjoy the inside jokes, but it's mostly just a comedy show. We just want to make people laugh.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Like, we throw canon out the window. Our tavern.
So many of my questions are just gone.
There's a lot of
scratching
canon
stuff.
that we do keep. But for example, the size and shape of the tavern.
Oh yeah, it changes all the time.
It changes all the time. Like, let's go and there's been like a kitchen with like 7 different gas, stoves. There's been
We just make stuff up.
yeah, there's it's been many different sizes at many different times.
And one of the things about improv shows, right, is that like the energy is so high and everybody's adrenaline is so high for the entirety of the show that the performers, we don't remember anything. You just sort of go with whatever's happening, and so we end up making up things that are brand new every time. And it's chaos. It's chaos.
Yeah, this is. I literally have. This has covered a ton of questions.
But we do have like stuff that does come back. Like there's stuff, because what I do when I outline and create the dramatic elements for the show, narrative elements. There's nothing dramatic about it.
Well, there's been a few heavy moments.
There's been a few heavy moments,
Yeah.
but they were all tinged with hilarity.
Yes, always.
But like I'll drop seeds in, and I'll see what the players take, and then we'll sort of refine. So I'll drop like 10 seeds, and then they'll narrow down. They'll pick up on these 5.
Never the ones you thought it would be?
Sometimes. It's really up to them. They're brilliant.
I mean, DMs in any game, right? You drop the really obvious clues, and the players are like, no, I want to talk to that guy over there who we just spoke to once. And as a DM, you're like, okay.
I found the key, and this is a DM tip for all you folks out there, is if you make something that sounds like it could be turned dirty, your players will pick up on it immediately, and they'll run with it. They once had the option to go to a place called the Caverns of Trent.
We went there.
Yeah, they went there.
I don't get it.
A good 10 minutes.
Yeah, that went over my head too. Sorry, the Caverns of Trent?
Trent.
Oh.
Traint.
Traint. Just remove the R, folks. I'm not sure what the language level is here, so I'm not going to say it.
It's out the fucking
Welcome in.
window.
Oh, great.
I mean, it's called a filthy lot, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
a filthy lot. So yeah, there was like 10 minutes of taint jokes. We're in the Caverns of Taint. Yeah. Oh, don't go next door. Why? There's an asshole there. Yeah, it's just that was a Sean Stewart.
I think that was a classic Sean
That
Stewart.
was classic Sean Stewart.
Yeah.
So aside from yourselves, who comprises the cast?
Good question. So we've got Ellen McNevin, who is a streamer, who's amazing. She's actually our most recent cast member, Ellen McNevin.
Yeah, our most recent cast member joining the cast in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's our most recent.
Oh, yeah, right. I guess that was 20.
We don't. I take it personally that we don't have turnover.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I had a question about that. Have you had cast
A
change
very
over?
small amount.
In
Very small
10 years, we had just one person just go, you know what? I don't think this is for me.
Was it only one? Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Wow.
Who else we got? We got Barbara Beale.
Oh, Barbara Beale.
Yeah.
Barbara!
Who's fantastic. And
Hi,
she's
Barbara.
basically, she's an actor who's been acting for so long and a comedian who's been working for so long in Vancouver. And she's fantastic.
And we should probably say that Barbara Beale plays a halfling weapon master.
Oh, yeah, I guess we should do characters too.
So Ellen McNevin, who's known as Ellen Mac on Twitch, who you please follow her on Twitch, unless she's streaming right now, in which case
Don't.
Stay here and go thereafter.
Yeah, go thereafter. Ellen McNevin is a half-elf ranger named Belle Strummer.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then we got Sean Stewart.
The amazing Sean Stewart.
Yeah, who you've been working with in comedy forever.
I've been working with about half the cast since 2005.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Stewart plays Brask.
Brask Hellbeard.
Brask Hellbeard, the dwarf bard.
Oh, nice.
And he's an incredibly gifted musician.
Yeah.
So he'll come out with a musical instrument and he'll like seriously play stuff. It's
that's awesome.
We'll just go, dude. In the show, all of a sudden it's like, oh, the only way we can stop this villain is a song about, I don't know, someone will yell, salmon, a song about salmon, and then he'll just be.
He's amazing.
Just bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh, so you take a lot of whatever the audience throws at you.
Yeah. How do you incorporate the audience into the show?
Well, that is a really interesting question because we are going to have to change things up. Because it used to be, for 8 years, we would bring audience members up. When it was time to fight monsters, I'd be like, oh, we need 3 whatever monsters I found dollar store costumes for.
Yeah.
And we'd go and we'd bring them up. And so they would be like, oh, I stabbed the wizard in the face. Or
Always.
I stabbed the wizard in the face. That's usually it. But, I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if we're going to be doing that. We're just revamping everything right now. Bringing other people up and being close to people. I'm not sure if that's our thing just yet. But we're talking about it now. But
We put them in bubbles.
yeah. Oh my God, the big hamster wheels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just bouncing into each other.
I cast shield.
that would be amazing.
You can get those. You can get like the really crappy ones that can go on water. Like you
Yeah.
get them at like Party City kind of.
Oh my God.
Are you playing the same character now that you played at the beginning?
No. No. Okay. So
Did you die?
Yeah. That was one of our epic moments.
Okay.
So I started out playing Edda, who is the character from Standard Action. Standard Action was a web series that I produced a decade ago. And so we brought that character into the Critical Hit show at the beginning, just basically to sort of bring some of the fans over and get people watching. And then Edda tragically died saving the world. She drank the apocalypse.
Yep.
Whoa, that's really cool.
It was
That's like
epic.
really metal though.
Really.
It
truly was.
On YouTube, if you look up Critical Hit Show, a player character dies.
Oh,
Someone has taped it and put it up.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh my
it's
God.
bootleg.
and we
That's wonderful.
like
I love
I'll show you how the sausage is made. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was time for Edda to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we built the show around this.
nice.
And you can still hear me get choked up because everybody is doing such a good job. Like, everybody's a super solid performer, right? So Edda drinks the apocalypse out of the green goblet of Gallandor, because there's a lot of goblets in our show, because
lots
you find them at dollar stores. There's 6 goblets that can destroy the world, I
Yeah.
think we've actually mentioned.
This was the green one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And drinks it, and then she just kind of goes, and it is just really sad.
Oh, man.
But then everybody else, there's this moment where they're all like interacting with each other, and they're like, oh, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And then they all look at me
Oh, no.
like, Eric, you can fix this. And I legitimately choked up. And I don't know why I choked up, because my best friend Joanna's right there, and we know she's coming back as a new character. But it was them being so good.
Yeah, it was a really, really cool moment. Yeah, I remember, I think that when it happened, Alan Morrison, who's another member of our cast, was right there on stage beside me. And I remember it happening and him being there and having this moment where, I mean, Alan is never without words.
Yeah.
He's a hilarious comedian, never without words. And he was speechless, and it was just this moment where the audience just kind of took a deep breath in. And then, and then I came back as Freya. Freya, the elf warlock, is who I am now. Yeah.
I did a hidden Doctor Who joke in there because at the very end of the show, everybody's bummed out. They're hanging out at the tavern, and then Freya comes in, just in a new costume. And says, "Hey, I hear you're looking for a new adventurer." And then I have introducing Joanna Gaskell as Freya, and I use like the boom, boom.
Right, on the big screen at the Rio. Yeah.
Like when John Hurt showed up as the War Doctor. So that was like my secret Doctor Who joke.
Oh, wicked.
There's a lot of like jokes hidden throughout the whole thing. The town that we're in is called Tarkindale because I'm a fan of Peter Cushing, who played Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars. It's Tarkindale. It's named after Peter
So,
Cushing.
okay,
Tarkindale's
if you're
great.
using the screen behind you, because you're at the Rio, which has, for those who don't know, the Rio has a live performance stage, but then also it's a movie theater.
It is a movie.
So how often do you incorporate the screen behind you?
All the time.
Always, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We'll have backgrounds put up, so like we're in the tavern or we're somewhere, and I just tell, I think we're gonna go here, but the performers, they just go
chaos.
anywhere.
Yeah.
And the tech person's just like, Google image search, boom, puts it up on a movie screen.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, and we've actually had a couple of instances where you were like a dragon. I think once.
Yes.
We actually had like a face capture technology. You were looking into your laptop.
What it was is it was actually a cutout.
Yeah, like a frame,
Just a
right?
cutout of my face.
Yeah, maybe not a face, not quite as complicated as a face capture, but yeah,
Capture technology.
It was like
Cardboard.
I am Benedict
like a-
Cumberbatch now.
Oh yeah.
but it was amazing, and of course it's hilarious
It
because
was
it's
just silly because it was a little bit out of sync.
Yes.
Oh, great.
So,
wow.
yeah, we love the rough around the edges thing. I call it dollar store chic.
Yeah.
I think that technically, I think my favorite use of the movie screen was we divided the stage in half, okay? Half of the stage was we built a model of the town out of cardboard boxes, and the other half is the heroes, right? And it's a very wide stage, and we had a camera hooked up to the projector, and someone went down where the model of the town is, and they filmed it like this. And then an audience member dressed up in a Godzilla onesie and started trashing the town, so you could see it on the movie screen, and the heroes are reacting to it as if it's right there.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And then I think Barbara drank something called growing gravy, and
That.
and
mean,
then
again,
just
right?
walked to the other
Endless
side
jokes,
of the stage.
endless jokes.
She just walked to the other side of the stage and beat the living shit out of the guy. In stage fighting, the person we brought up we knew was a trained stage fighter and stuff. So
Was on board
Yeah.
with the whole plan.
Yeah.
yeah. Or the time where or the time where halfway through the show we decided to pull an Avengers 5 years later.
my God, that was 5 minminutes before the show.
Oh, was it before the show?
It was 5 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
We were doing our 100th episode.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God, November.
100 episodes.
Yeah, it was like November
Yeah,
2019, our 100th episode, and both you and Ian at the exact same time just went, you know, it'd be funny, what? If it was 5 years later. I just went,
Yeah.
okay, that's what we're doing. And I go to Paul, who was doing our sound, and our tech stuff. I'm like, I need you to look up 5 years later. It needs to be this
Yeah,
font.
it needs to be the specific
It needs
one.
to be a screen cap. And you can find that online. I think it maybe our Instagram, and you can hear the audience.
Oh God.
Just
yeah.
collected, like the air changes in the theater, because I'm just
Yeah.
like, do the regular beginning. Hey, we're going to start the adventure now, and suddenly everything goes 5 years later, and you hear this, and then you just hear this from me. this little laugh.
Yeah, it's so good.
But that was like that's how improvised it is, like, and how good they are at the Rio.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, have we talked about every cast member? Ian Boothby, we have not mentioned yet.
We have not mentioned Ian or Al. Oh my gosh.
We talked about Alan. Alan, it plays Spitz,
Spitz Lubin.
Spitz Lubin.
Wizard.
Again, endless jokes.
Yeah.
The human wizard, who used to own the tavern and now does not.
Now Ellen owns the tavern
Ellen owns the
because
tavern.
he forgot to sign
His paperwork
any
or something.
paperwork ever.
Yeah.
It happens.
And then Ian Boothby,
Oh my God.
who's a
Ian.
legend.
He is. So Ian used to write Simpsons and Futurama comics for Bongo Comics. He wrote a series of graphic novels. He's writing a series of graphic novels called Sparks about these two cats that dress up as a dog to fight crime.
To fight crime, yes.
And it's winning all sorts of like scholastic awards
and
and
it's been
stuff.
translated into all sorts of languages. He's also writing Exorcisters.
He's also writing Exorcist.
Brilliant. It's about
Great comic.
twins,
Sisters.
twins
That's clever.
fighting demons.
That's
Yep.
very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Well, he's the guy who got me into comedy. Like my entire, I owe my entire career to Ian Boothby, and I know he's not watching this, so he doesn't have to hear this and feel bad about it. But yeah,
missing these compliments,
he is
Ian.
absolutely next level funny. Like all of us are in awe
Oh yeah.
of this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, he would be very uncomfortable if he saw this actually.
Well, we are live streaming, but this will also be on YouTube afterwards, so we can
excellent.
see it later.
Ever. You know what happened to me? Oh my God, I can't. I'm gonna tell this story, and I'm gonna sound super full of myself because you know how uncomfortable I am with compliments.
I do know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I curl up and die.
Yeah.
So my partner was talking with her friend's partner, and was like, "You're dating Eric Fell, yeah, from Gentleman Hecklers and Critical Hit Show, yeah. He's a Vancouver icon."
Aww.
And her first reaction was, "Never say that to him. He will run home. Even if he drove here, he will run home."
Like shrink
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, like my comedy partner Patrick Malia, he knows that if he ever wants me to feel uncomfortable, he will compliment me in front of an audience.
Oh.
And I will just, so if I'm ever mad at, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna screw with Eric. He's funny, look at him. Oh God, oh no."
Oh, you are a Vancouver icon, Eric. Yes, take a drink.
Performing at the Rio all the time, do you find that, I mean, it's just amazing, people must get excited, and do you have people who are returning audience members who
we had people
are invested?
Yeah, so we obviously at the beginning of the pandemic we had to stop performing live and we moved online to Zoom. So we've been performing for the last 2 years on Zoom, which has changed the show. But for the time we were in the Rio, yeah, we had people who came to every show, every month for 10 years, almost 10 years.
And is
8 years.
it once a month?
Once a month. Last Wednesday of every month is what it was
There you go.
when we were performing at the Rio. Yeah, our audience was absolutely amazing. Like I really didn't do all that much improv besides this show. Like I don't have all that much experience. A lot of our cast members are regular improv performers, and I didn't really realize how special our audience was, but they are so supportive and so lovely, and they just keep coming back, and they do things like show up in costume, and it's just amazing.
One Halloween.
They bring us gifts sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like, a couple characters got married. People showed up and brought wedding presents.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
People, for our holiday show, which we call our Owl Bear Life Day special, they'll show up and they'll give us gifts. I have these little, these little sculptures of
Oh
all
my
of us.
God, yes, those little tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, they're amazing.
One Halloween, there we were in the audience. A group of people
Yeah, cosplayed.
dressed up as us for Halloween.
Yeah.
Did they have the gray plaid?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, no, this person dyed their hair, like they hennaed their hair up orange, and wore plaid.
Oh my God.
And
That's
there
amazing.
was, oh my gosh, it was.
The sword that I use as Freya was given to me by a fan.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They're really, really amazing.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't say enough great things about the audience of the Critical Hit show. I'm a professional comedian. I used to do hundreds of shows a year. There's nothing like the Critical Hit show audience. Like seriously, when I tell folks who do shows at other places, they're like, they don't believe me.
Yeah.
They're that great.
So where did the idea come from?
The idea came, how did that happen? Oh, right, okay. Honestly, I was, this sounds so like, oh, look, it's a magical thing that happened. I was
It's kind of magical.
Aren't they all?
I was at a shopping mall in Surrey, British Columbia.
Well, that's less
Ooh.
magical.
Where the magic happens.
It's where the magic always is. I believe it's called Surrey Central.
It's a kind of magic.
It is.
Special Surrey magic.
It's a kind of magic, folks.
It comes in powder and pill.
Yeah, I was going to go with a Highlander reference, but okay.
That's where we're going.
I was at the store. I walked by this gaming store, and I was like, I haven't played Dungeons. I honestly, I hadn't really any tabletop experience. I mean, when I was like,
Really?
yeah. Oh, when I was like 11, I played the D6 Star Wars role-playing game, and when I was 14, I think I did like a year. Where I went to school, it's like all the headbangers and the metalheads were into D&D, so I played some D&D with them, but I didn't really know much about it. And I went in there and I grabbed Dungeon Master's Guide 2. The
Like
sequel.
the 3.5 or the
No,
third edition?
fourth
Oh,
edition.
Okay, yeah,
The fourth edition.
yeah.
It's called Dungeon Master's Guide 2. And I was just like, and then it just said improv and Dungeons and Dragons. And I was 7 years into my career as a professional comedian, doing a lot of improv, and I just went, this would be a good show.
Yeah.
How about we do this show? And I sit down, and there was a group of people playing at the time, and I walked over and I sat down and I said, teach me how to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I showed up every Wednesday for 6 months.
They must have just been in that moment of just like, wind is blowing through their hair. They're like, light.
You were like,
everything.
welcome.
I will.
Come.
Yeah, I absolutely credit Danny Laycock with being so welcoming, because if it had been a different person at the table,
They might have been like, get out of here.
I might not have gotten along with them. I might have put that book back.
Yeah.
Right? And I never would have met
And
Joanna.
then the Critical Hit show would never have
Yeah.
happened.
I mean, but most importantly, so Joanna is my best friend. And we met because of this. And there was someone who I knew, there was like a mutual acquaintance said like, you should get Joanna Gaskell. I'm like, Joanna Gaskell? Because I mispronounced her name.
God damn it.
That was on me. I'm like, from Standard Action, because I'd seen Standard Action and I enjoyed Standard Action. I thought it was really, really imaginative and funny. And like, yeah, we'll set up a meeting. And we met, and she's like, do you want to do the show? And Joanna was supposed to be like a one-off guest star. The whole show was going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
And then,
One-time show.
and then 200 people showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And then they showed up. 200 people showed up every month for 8 years.
And then the Rio was like, hey, you want to do that again?
Yeah. And then we said, Joanna, do you want to stay? And Joanna said yes. And we did so lucky.
So you've been part of it since the get.
Yeah, since the beginning, yeah. Yeah, it was actually terrifying because I don't do improv. And so when Eric asked me to be part of the show, I was like, I don't know how to do that. And he's like, it's fine, you'll be fine.
Just do this.
And it was honestly like all of the other people that you brought on board were such great improvisers that I just sort of learned so much from them along the way.
That's
And I
fair.
felt very carried by them, like they're very kind people, and yeah, it's a great group.
Had you played a lot of D&D,
That's what I was about to ask.
right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I wrote and produced Standard Action out of a D&D campaign, right? So I mean,
You did have improv experience.
I guess so. I suppose in a gaming sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have like on stage improv experience, but yeah, I'd like DM'd games, and I suppose a lot of that is improvisation. So
Yeah.
I didn't start that early though. Like I'm not like a red boxer or anything like that. Like I started with 3.5. So yeah. But
That deserves nerd cred, though.
Yeah.
I think,
I'm a 5e.
yeah, if you
Oh,
play,
yeah.
Yeah,
But
like,
also,
I-
it's okay wherever you started.
Oh, yeah,
as long
yeah,
as
of
you're
course.
playing D&D or whatever tabletop you're playing and you're having a good time, awesome.
no, you're right. I often feel the need to qualify when I started because I feel like since I've been playing for so long and I started producing Standard Action back in 2010, which is 12 years ago now.
Don't worry about it. Just keep moving on.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
Time is soup.
I feel like now, gaming is much more accepted and much more welcoming, especially of women and non-binary folks. And I feel like back then, I felt like I always had to justify that I was qualified to be a gamer, that I was qualified to be writing material about gaming, because I've been playing for a long time. But you're right, it doesn't matter when you start, and I shouldn't have
And I will make you uncomfortable because I was such a fan, and I love standard action, and I know. We're gonna talk about critical hit stuff. But I went to see a talk because you were at it at Emerald City.
Really?
And it was about women and writing for comic books and web series and content that at the time felt really, there was just this like gatekeeper feeling.
Yeah, 100%.
And I was like, I want to get more into this. I want to be a part of gaming and those environments. And women in positions of leadership, especially at creative leadership roles, it was hard to feel welcomed into those spaces. And I was like, these women are running a fucking panel at Emerald City.
Oh, that's amazing.
Awesome.
That is
Awesome.
Now she's our chief DM.
That's fantastic.
Anyway,
yeah,
but I agree that there was like a feeling of it that is, it's different, and times are changing really fast, and that is excellent. And I think it is about telling people that it's like, that part doesn't matter. It's like, what are you doing right now? What do you enjoy?
Yeah.
And then connecting the people that make for a great table experience.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, both Eric and I DM'd for the Stormcrow when the Stormcrow was around. Unfortunately, it's
It'll come back.
We used to do that. We used to be
Toronto.
we used to be professional. Yeah, we would be professional. I mean, I still DM for this amazing group of brilliant, like of gifted kids on Saturdays. But we used to do stuff for the Stormcrow Tavern and the Stormcrow Ale House, which, if you're not familiar, were these. Imagine a sports bar, but your sport is those things that you love, those comics you love, those. It looked like this. It looked like this. It was always my favorite first date place because it'd be like, listen, if you can handle this, you can handle my place.
Yeah.
I got my vintage Star Wars toys.
Yeah,
they're
like
in a cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah. But I found that when we were DMing, I got groups of all women who would show up and just be so excited about playing. And I was so stoked that I could have these groups of just women or I didn't even get very many groups of all men. They were split 50-50, or they were all sorts of different kinds of people and people inviting their friends. And the stigma appeared to be sort of fading away, and it made me very happy.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
It was really cool because I found that as well. I'd done a couple of bachelor parties, but it was usually like really hungover, really nice people. But for the most part, I would say because it was usually like Sunday morning. They're like, we went out last night. We just want to have a quiet adventure.
You like roll the dice, and they're like, stop.
Yeah, it's like, ow.
Stop it.
But that's what I found as well. It was a much greater mix of people.
Yeah.
The kids that I DM for, it's 5 girls and 1 boy, and I say girl and boy because they're children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because I'm a prick.
I'm not saying I'm not a prick.
I know,
but
yeah,
that's not the reason.
That's not the reason I'm saying.
There's a plethora of reasons for why I'm a prick. We have a fact checker.
What?
Ash is just going, Eric Fell.
Is Eric Fell a prick?
Correct.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Is
Vancouver icon Eric Fell.
Rick? I need it. I'm sorry. This is
Vancouver icon in quotes, so you get that as part of
they
it.
actually, there was a really large poll taken, and it split 50-50.
Oh, there you go.
50-50? Yeah. Oh,
That's pretty good.
Well, that's nice.
Pretty
it's,
good.
You know,
Pleasant surprise.
It was
And it's
part of
just-
the Canadian census.
But
part of the Canadian sense.
oh, I was gonna say,
long
keep in mind, it's just from people who answer polls.
This is true.
Yeah. Skewed, for sure.
It is absolutely skewed.
So, okay, you said it was 4 was the rule set that you, when you did the DM guide, that's what you started with? What
Started with 4.
Yeah.
What are you playing with now?
We moved over to something called 13th Age.
Oh.
So 13th Age it's a D20 variant. So it's like a different Tom Hiddleston? No, that's a different kind of variant. That's a niche joke that we're all going to get.
Oh, yeah.
It's
You found the crowd. They know.
It was developed by Jonathan Tweet, who worked on 3rd edition, and Rob Hainso, who worked on 4th edition. And they went, what would we want to play if Hasbro wasn't looking over our shoulder? What kind of rules would we make if Hasbro wasn't going do this and do this and do this? Because Wizards is, of course, owned by Hasbro. By the way, my first word was Kenner. So you know, they're owned by Hasbro now.
Fact check.
Fact check.
Vancouver
I was
icon
talking
Eric
to Chad
Fell.
again. What was the question?
I've been Vancouver icon Eric Fell, first words.
Yeah, icon Eric Fell, Kenner.
The Eric Fell Wikipedia. There should be one.
Yeah, we call Prickopedia.
50% of people call it Prickopedia.
That's true.
Oh, that's nice.
But so they made this rule set, and it is really cool. So if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, which I think this is the wheelhouse of folks here in the.
I mean,
yeah.
safe bet.
We're a little invested, yeah.
So, for example, instead of a skill list, right? Instead of like, oh, I got +2 to perception, +4 to deception, blah 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 blah, right? Instead of that, you get X amount of points towards a background. So, say your background is, oh, I'm going to get a +4 to raised in a circus. Okay? So there you go. So now you have to get across this single rope that's over a volcano. So you'll be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I was raised in a circus.
Yeah.
So you have to justify narrative. Well, I was raised in a circus, so I knew how to do the tightrope. So you would roll your d20, and you would add your background plus your level. So and of course your dexterity, right? Your
Interesting.
So you have dexterity plus background plus level.
Oh, wow.
Get to the other side. Charging elephant. What is happening? Charging elephant. Wait a minute.
I'm used to elephants.
I was raised in a circus.
Yeah.
Charisma plus level plus, so you do that. And it is really fun. And it works so well for comedy because that means
There's a lot of improvisation.
that means they have to narratively justify their
that's fun.
decisions.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
So Ian Boothby, for example, Benoit the Anointed is his character. He's an anti-nature activist.
Yeah.
Right? So he'll know how to kill monsters, or something weird happens, you are an extraplanar amnesiac.
Yeah.
Who's your warlock connection deity? Like, what have you made a pact with? Is there even
Warlock?
that in this system?
No, because Warlock in 13th Age doesn't actually exist. So we had to make up a
Yeah.
flavor class
I
sort of
act-
thing.
I actually had
A flavor class is
Yeah.
a great word.
Flavor class?
It's like a sorcerer flavor.
Flavor class.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because didn't you talk to
I had a
Subcategory on
with Rob
Tinder.
Hainso.
Yeah, you talked with Rob Hainso about potentially making Warlock a class.
So I had a conversation with Rob Hainso, who helped develop 13th Age.
Whoa.
And like just a phone conversation, and we just talked about how to make a warlock class.
Yeah. I was on a
and-
panel with him at GotaCon, actually. I think I remember talking to
Oh.
him about this. So, yeah.
So so Freya is the only warlock.
What?
They may have a class now called warlock. I'm not sure.
Nerd cred.
But
Yeah, right.
it's a class specifically discussed with the creator of that system.
That's so
That's
cool.
Yeah.
insane.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I don't have a patron. I actually, my backstory for Freya is that she just sprung into existence out of a cloud of sulfur on the side of the road a few years ago. So
But you do have a church.
I do. I founded a Church of the Happy Smiling Face.
Yes. And
Church of the Happy Smiling Face.
and how does it work again?
You pay to be a part of it, and your 100
most
gold.
churches,
As your 100 gold sort of tithe to get into the church, it will prevent me from not killing you.
Oh, wait.
Prevent me from killing you. Yeah, that one. So it's like 100 gold to make sure that I don't kill you. It's like a mob.
It's
It's a mob.
It's a one-person mob.
Yeah.
It's a protection. You're paying protection.
Yeah. But it's a church.
Oh,
It's a church, so they don't have to pay taxes.
Running rackets. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, and then you smile. Happy smiling face.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No pressure.
Said like that. That's
Yeah.
creepy. I dig it. Ash?
Hi.
Hi.
We have 2 redemptions for Ask Us Almost Anything.
Awesome.
So we're going to go 2 questions back to back. The first one is from Vancouver by Night, fellow D&D friend.
Hey.
If you started with 4 and moved to 3.5 and then jumped over to 5e, then describe in detail how much cheese Gimli could eat in one sitting.
Oh, Gimli cheese has come up again. This is a recurring.
Is this a recurring thing?
Yeah, it's well, second time. So
Interesting.
Okay.
now it's
recurring.
recurring.
4, 3.5, 5,
How much cheese could Gimli eat in one sitting?
12.5.
Good answer.
I mean, seems legit.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Fact checker.
Yeah, sure.
By the by,
Accurate.
I had this really good cheese a few weeks ago.
Oh.
If you go to, I'm going to throw in a plug for Chiaffi's Delicatessen.
Oh, God.
You had this cheese. Don't you? Oh, God, me. You love this cheese.
Listen.
A
Yeah, no,
balsamic
it's
onion
true.
cheddar.
It's true.
Hunted
I
down.
think Gimli would
So
enjoy
good.
the cheese.
Oh, sorry, there's a second question.
Okay, one, I have had that kind of cheese and it is
So good.
Oh yeah, excellent.
See,
Wait,
fact
I missed what kind of cheese it is.
balsamic onion
Balsamic
cheddar.
onion cheddar.
Make sure that everybody
Sounds
in the sitting is all eating it because you'll smell terrible after.
Oh,
yeah.
no, okay.
But that's
But
okay.
if you're all in,
as long as
the
everybody
garbage,
has
no one
it.
smells
So it's not a date night cheese.
I mean, unless you're both.
Both eat
having
it.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second question
Indeed.
from OmniSmite.
Omni.
Wants to know, what was your first exposure to nerd culture of any kind? RPGs, comics, sci-fi, movies, etc.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Go into the Wayback Machine.
Well, I mean, I suppose, Star Wars. So I was exposed to Star Wars a little later. I was actually babysitting when I was 13 or something like that. And the kid was an absolute nightmare, but he insisted every night of watching one of the Star Wars movies, one of the original trilogy, and that was my introduction to the Star Wars movies. And after watching Star Wars, that was what made me decide to either be an actor or an astronaut. Because I wanted to go to space. And I was like, well, there's two ways.
What killed your astronaut
I tried.
trajectory?
I tried. Yeah, my eyes are too bad.
Oh.
So I actually attempted to. So the easiest, the most direct way to become an astronaut is to join the military. So I went down to the recruitment office. I spoke to them, and I was like, hey, I want to be a pilot so that I can be an astronaut.
Wow.
And they said, okay, cool. But I see you wearing glasses. And I said, yeah, well, that's cool, right? They're like, no, not cool.
Did you consider like laser eye correction kind of thing?
I asked about it, and they said that you can't. You can't go through high G training if you have scarring in your eyes from laser surgery.
Oh, that makes sense.
That is absolutely wild, Joe, because several
At
years
the
ago,
time, it made
I had written a pilot. And I had me and Joanna in mind as these sort of slacker people
Oh, yes.
who work for this company that uses alien technology.
Oh.
And the part I'd written for you was the character who had wanted to be an astronaut but had bad eyes. And I didn't know that story. Yeah, because I based it off of, because I got wonky eyes, right? And that's fine. Like this one, so I can't be an astronaut either.
Oh.
Also, I think I'm too tall for NASA.
Yeah, you can't
really?
fit in the little.
Yeah, it's more expensive to make a
pods.
suit for me. Yeah.
I didn't know they had rules about that.
I mean, they probably would. I didn't know
Yeah,
that either.
I remember
Doesn't apply to
filling out an
me.
application as a younger person. But
Dear NASA,
dear NASA, I like space. Put
I'm
me in
6
space.
foot. What are
5.
Oh, ooh,
See?
yeah. That's tall.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Ash?
Fact check. Am I 6'5", Ash?
Vancouver icon.
Am I 6'5"? I don't know.
6'3" and 3/4.
Am I?
Looks like, yeah.
Really?
According to the internet.
If you Google how tall is Eric Fell, what comes up?
Oh no, this is gonna.
Oh
will
God,
not
this
say
is
6 foot.
it's getting a little bit
but yeah, no,
heated
no,
here.
When you're 6'5", you really don't need to split the hairs between. Like, come on, man.
I have a friend who got very upset when I said that he was 5'7" because he's 5'7" and a half.
Yeah,
Like, it's
but
very
I think
upset.
when you're
I'm 5'9",
5'7",
and we're the people who care. You're like above it. What, past 6?
Honest
It's
to
like
goodness, I had no idea that that was something that they were sensitive about, and that's the day I checked my height privilege.
Oh no.
I don't know. I think
one laugh.
I hate myself.
There's one chuckle though over there.
One chuckle though from the tall person.
So lots of questions from the chat tonight. We've got another one from a new friend, Magical Twig, that wants to know, I've only been playing D&D since 5e, and I know that a lot of players seem to use the insight skill, insight check, as a pseudo lie detector. How do you circumvent this as a DM or use the skill differently?
Ooh, good question.
D&D question.
Okay, now I've noticed on character sheets, if you go on D&D Beyond, they show passive insight. Right? So if you're a DM and you're secretly rolling deception, and it's lower than the passive insight, well, then
you just let them know.
you just let them know. Yeah. Clearly, Steve is lying to you.
Yeah.
I don't circumvent it. What I do is I don't tell them like I roll for deception. I don't tell them the roll. And if they want to roll for insight, they need to proactively roll for insight. And if they fail the DC, or if the person is telling the truth and they beat the DC, I say, you detect no deception.
So
Right?
they're still guessing.
Yeah, so some of my favorite things I say are, you detect no falsehood, and also, my other favorite one, you don't see any traps.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And you
it's
say
all
it like
about-
you say it like that, especially when there's no traps.
Yeah, it's all about planting doubt. Yeah.
And
Is that
sometimes-
giving you a bit of a like, oh, I remember that moment.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I did see traps.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun when you're DMing, specifically 5e, is to just get them to roll a saving throw and don't tell them why.
Yeah, and then you write it down quietly
Yeah.
behind the screen. You go,
Just
okay.
Can I get a dexterity saving
No,
throw?
that's good. Okay, got it.
What is it? Nothing. You're fine. You're fine.
good.
You're fine.
Fine.
You're fine.
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
They're just like sweating over there. They're like,
So I don't circumnavigate it, and I have. I was telling you, I DM for these kids. Oh, a couple of them are min-maxers.
Oh.
So a couple. There's this one
Little
kid.
min-maxers.
She's got a plus. She's level 5, and she's got a plus 10 to acrobatics and sleight of hand.
Damn.
wow.
So it's just like, well, everything they have to break into now has no windows.
You come across a box.
Yeah, it's just a solid like 2001 monolith.
Yeah.
I didn't answer the question about my first exposure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
do
yeah,
it.
you didn't. Yeah.
I don't remember. And I don't remember because it was the 1979 re-release of Star Wars and I was 3 years old. So Star Wars is so in like it,
Yeah, it's like built into your DNA.
I joke that if you cut me, I bleed in yellow and in this angle. What I do remember is around that time getting my first Star Wars figures. I got the Death Star droid and I got Luke in his X-Wing outfit.
Oh nice.
Yeah, and like you, how you wanted to be an astronaut or
Or an actor. Yeah.
You want to be a Jedi.
When I was four, I saw this documentary called SPFX, The Making of the Empire Strikes Back. I think that's what it was called. And when I was 4 years old, I learned that people make these things, and I just went, I want to make movies. I want to make stuff. I want to make stuff.
That's
and
fair.
then I just learned, so whenever I see something I like, I learn what influenced those people. So like, because I love Star Wars, I learned about Kurosawa, right? So, and I learned about obviously the Joseph Campbell stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I don't remember.
Do you remember
I've
yours?
always been here.
My first exposure, technically, my mom was close to bursting pregnant with me. I was
Gross.
born in '83, which was
Yeah,
Year
that's-
of the Jedi.
Yep.
Year of Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
And she was interviewed because she came waddling out of a movie theater having watched Return of the Jedi and was interviewed because
Oh,
I was,
wow.
a pregnant lady watching the movie. And so I was in the womb when I saw.
Have you seen that footage?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
but-
I bet it's out there.
I wonder. I
I
wonder if it
think
is.
my first exposure that like converted me would have been G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a Transformers episode last night, and it was wild because Cobra Commander was on it. No, he was. He played a character named Old Steak, and Cobra Commander showed up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I also watched, and there was another episode of Transformers. I don't sleep. I watched another episode of Transformers last night, and I swear to God, Megatron and the other Decepticons were drinking out of Energon cubes, and they got drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Season 1, they used to drink, like,
Yeah.
they were like gathering Energon and then
But they were just,
drink that shit,
Megatron
yeah.
suddenly going, I remember the old days on Cybertron. Don't you look at me, Soundwave. But I have a womb story for you.
Oh.
That sounded terrible. But whenst my mother was pregnant with me, they listened to a lot of Monty Python.
Oh.
And I was named after a Python sketch. So I was doomed to become a comedian from the start. Like in utero,
Yeah.
I knew, as a baby, I learned Monty Python.
That's awesome.
I wasn't exposed to Monty Python until I was about 8.
Yeah, I feel like it was a little later for me as well. Yeah. And definitely, there was a lot of Star Trek in my early life as well.
Oh,
Star
really?
Trek Next Generation, oh yeah.
Oh,
Come
hell
home after school and watch Star Trek, yeah, definitely. That was a big part of my upbringing.
What about you?
But you, yeah.
Curious. Do people want to know?
Weird stuff, I guess. I remember my sister and I doing the time warp before we understood the movie. And my mom coming home and being like, I don't think that's appropriate. And my dad being like, they don't get it, it's fine, they're just doing the dance. And
Like,
It's just a jump to the left.
it's
And then a step to the right.
fine. And so a lot of that kind of more obscure things for kids at the time. You know? But I was definitely like, we all collect nerd toys here. Nerd toys. And I remember being the kids all join and they have their toys, and I was that kid who was like, no, now we put on a show about them, and I'll get the costumes together.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I remember being in tears one year because I was making my friends put on this like Mario thing. And I was like, I've made like some kids have to like wear these little things, like they're gonna be the little shell guys, and this person's supposed to be Mario, and I put all this work into it, and then no one wants to play my stupid thing and do my stuff, and my mom's like, it's okay, like not everybody's into it like you are, and I'm just bawling.
Oh, you're like, it's not okay.
Everybody won't do what I want, which is kind of here sometimes
That
too.
sounds like that is the beginning
job.
of mandatory fun.
right? Mandatory fun.
Roz forces people to play games.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah, now
I love it. I feel like you're a born director.
Yeah.
I honestly do. When you're just like, I have this vision and nobody else has seen it and it's driving me to tears.
No one wants to do it. Yeah.
That sounds like a director. That
I
absolutely
think
sounds
when I'm
like a director.
DMing and I'm hoping that they go in one direction, now I'll use your technique of just being like, I'm just gonna put jokes that are potentially sexual in one direction, and they're just gonna go that way.
Dirty jokes, yeah. They will always follow
and
the
it's-
dirty
Don't
jokes.
go for intrigue, go for like base
But I
level.
keep doing in this direction. There's a potentially complicated riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I should be doing.
Also, there's
it's
a
dicks. I should just
on the
be
wall.
dicks over here, guys.
Yes. Oh, look, there's.
Dicks this way.
Yes, this character's name is Alfred Lord Pennison. I wonder if you want to talk to him. Yes, you're gonna talk to Alfred Lord
Genius.
Pennison.
Yeah. And behind him is this complicated riddle.
Yeah, it's like, which one are you gonna go for? Everyone's gonna go
It's
for
a riddle about dicks.
We can make it about dicks.
Isn't Dick Riddle Voldemort's real name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dick Riddle. Yeah.
Pretty sure that.
Yeah. Definitely. Fact check, yes.
true.
Yeah.
You broke Ash. That's fair.
I don't know much about Harry Potter, but I'm pretty sure
I'm
it's gonna be
pretty
Dick
sure.
Riddle.
Dick Riddle, yeah.
Come
I'm pretty
on.
sure that.
Of course
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
I think, boy, maybe that was his dad.
Dick Riddle Jr.
Dick Riddle and Dick Riddle.
Junior. I eat Dick Riddle Jr. I don't know why he's a pirate now.
Yeah. It'll get you, Harry.
Hey, folks in the chat, what does, if you take, say, like a countdown style anagram, what does Dick Riddle Jr.? And
Also
you spell
spell?
it Junior if you want.
Oh, yeah.
J-U-N.
I-O.
Don't use that there. I can use that as a puzzle later.
Dick Riddle Jr. The
Riddle
answer
Jr.
is Voldemort.
Rearranged.
Okay. So you've changed mechanics a bunch between, like, you went from D&D to what's it called?
13th Age, which I highly recommend.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
I almost called it the SR-71, but that is a reconnaissance plane. The SRD is available for free because
Oh, cool.
it's D20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do for in the Critical Hit show? What do you do for rolling mechanics? Like when something, a skill check has to happen or attacks have to happen.
As the cast, we are incredibly spoiled because we're up moving around.
Yeah.
And so we're just like, yeah, no, I'll roll on that, and then it's up to Eric to roll the dice.
So I have to roll every single time.
Yeah.
So when we moved online to do our Zoom shows, for some reason I still had to do it, even though I know for a fact they all have dice.
we're just really spoiled. We're just really spoiled.
Listen, I want to make sure I'm here to entertain.
So then here's a question, and feel free to not answer honestly if you don't want to. But since you're the only one rolling the dice, do you honestly say what the rolls
Do
are?
I fudge
Do
the
you
dice?
fudge the numbers? Yeah.
It's okay to be
Listen.
fudge it.
Listen.
Listen.
It's a comedy
Listen,
show.
everybody, listen.
It's a comedy show. And if there is combat that lasts an hour of the 90-minute show, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's a comedy show. I will move things along if need be. I don't think it's a comedy show.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the best
And nobody knows
best
what you-
move for DMs that need to be. It's not sitting around your living room just for you and your friends.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a show.
Yeah.
And
There's
it's
another
Supposed to be
component.
Just
entertaining.
repeat to yourself, it's just a show.
Yeah.
You should really just relax. Oh, what a segue.
One of the things that we got asked a lot at Fan Expo was about getting better at playing characters and NPCs. And I don't know if you have any tips for people who are watching, like because obviously you do improv, and how do you get better at that? But also, what brings those characters to life for the audience? And other players.
So like when you're doing it for like an audience or
In general, just like,
well, I mean, I think
is
that
it different?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think one of the big things about that I find that works really well if you're playing characters is to honestly just loosen up. You know, like don't take yourself so seriously. A lot of times you'll sort of come into the game with a plan. You know, like my character is like this, and their main goal is this, and this is their character trait that I'm going to play, and that's fine when you walk up to the table like that. But then just throw it all away and let everybody else at the table influence how you're going to be. Because I think that's when things become interesting, is that when you allow yourself to change given what other people are giving you. Because there's way too many times where somebody will come to the table with this intricately like crafted backstory, and they're like, this is how I am, and they won't budge from that track, and then that becomes less fun for them and for everybody else. So I find that it's always the best if you can sort of arrive with some ideas and then allow everybody else at the table to change you.
Yeah.
I think that works best.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's like you've got this, and then just build on it as you go.
Yeah.
Right. Like, when I've DM'd, I've never built an entire campaign first. I see where they want to go, and then I build from there. And I find it's easier.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's less work. Oh, I'm gonna recommend. Have you ever recommended the Lazy DM? His name's Mike Shea, and he has this thing called the Lazy DM's Workbook. So if you want to I can DM a session with 15 minutes prep and 3 index cards.
Oh.
Like that's
Which
it.
is what we often had to do for DM and Dine, is like you'd have like, you'd have very little notice. You'd show up for a game and you're like, okay, let's just do this, and then just sort of see where the game goes and have some ideas and throw them in. And if somebody decides to go not in the direction that you want to go, you have this amazingly crafted riddle over here, but your party decides to go this way, you just have enough sort of flexibility in your game design that you can move a lot of the stuff that was over there over here.
Until you say it out loud, it's not written in stone.
Yeah.
Right? Like anything can be behind that door. And if they choose not to go behind that door, there's nothing behind that door. Yeah. The thing you wanted them to see could be could be behind the other door.
It's over here now.
And my favorite part is the players will sometimes create things better than what I had planned.
Oh yes.
I mean,
and then
you're
use
like,
their ideas, right? For sure.
I mean, there was this, I'll give you an example from Critical Hit Show. Ian plays a cleric. And one day he goes, I worship a new deity now. And he looks in the audience, some guy wearing a Pepsi shirt. And he goes, what's your name? Peter. I worship Peter now. I worship Pepsi Peter. And that became 5 years of material because we were talking about the Pepsi Peter. And so I made like these bad guys called the Septimus group, because the opposite of cola is uncola, Septimus, 7-Up. So it really just,
Whoa.
Okay, just let everybody catch up to that one.
Because the opposite of Pepsi. So what I did was I threw in a red herring. There was a group called the Committee of Concerned Aristocrats, which everybody thought was the bad guy because they're like Coca, Pepsi and Coke are opposites. They're not. They're both colas. The uncola.
I still think they're evil.
I mean, they're rich. They're pricks. Like the rich. They're going to be assholes.
Yeah.
But
They're on Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're on Wikipedia. Yeah, absolutely.
You can look them up.
If there isn't a Wikipedia, we should make one.
We should make a Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Actually, it's interesting thinking about how like changing the story as you go too, because that's actually how I produced the first season of Standard Action. So I wrote the first 4 episodes, and then I wrote the 5th one. And then after that, we wrote the story as we went. We were like, so the actors would give me ideas as to how they played the characters, and I'd watch the footage that we got, and I was like, oh man, I want to explore that idea more, and then we'd take it in that direction. And so the entire first season was basically like following the path that the story sort of wrote for itself.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's what do
super
they call
fun.
that? Pantsing. Because there's 2 different types of writing: plotting and pantsing.
Okay.
And plotting, you like plot out all the
Right.
key points you need to get to, and then you manipulate your characters to get to those points.
Right.
Pantsing, you're true to the characters, and you ride by the seat of your pants, where I'm true to their character
like that.
decisions, and then you maybe get to there, or maybe the events need to change.
Yeah, I got into it. I didn't even know where it was going, and I got to a place that was awesome and very sort of legitimate to the characters' motivations. Yeah, cool.
That's
I like
right.
that. Pantsing.
Yeah, I read a thing about that because of Game of Thrones and the difference between the seasons that had base material from the actual books that were written.
Right.
Because Martin is a pantser as a writer. He
just
writes true to the
follows.
characters and
Yeah.
like lets their story play out.
Right.
And then as soon as there wasn't source material and they had to make up the last seasons, they were plotting.
Of course,
And
because that's what
the
you do with
huge
that
shift
kind
was.
of a budget show.
Oh, yeah. So it's just suddenly
Interesting.
characters get to where they need to be without the journey being the story.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, we just solved Game of Thrones. You're welcome.
Where would you put Joe Straczynski in Babylon 5?
Never watched it.
It's so good.
Babylon 5?
It's so good.
I
I've
couldn't
never
watch
watched it either.
There's something about it. It's
Start
just
with season 2. Trust me.
removed.
Trust me. Start with season 2.
Season 2.
I feel that way about The Expanse too.
Oh yeah.
That I
Expanse.
need to watch and plan on watching. Okay, so very quickly, because we are sadly very short on time.
Oh, okay. Wait, was there anything else for them to plug?
We're not out of time yet.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
I want to open it up to that, but also Critical Hit Show 10th anniversary is next Wednesday.
March 9th at the Rio Theatre in Vancouver, British Columbia.
We're back to live.
Tickets are available at riotheatretickets.ca. Don't forget, we're in Canada, so theater is spelled with an R-E.
Oh yeah. Good. Yeah.
Even if you're not in Vancouver, just buy tickets and show up.
Yeah.
Just buy tickets.
Just buy tickets.
Yeah, just
Buy tickets. I want to pay these people.
Oh, we don't mind. Just come to the show.
So something you mentioned canon earlier, and this is one of the questions I had, you kind of answered earlier, was that this has actually been 10 years of one continuous campaign.
It is has been a 10-year story. I think it might be, at least as far as BC is concerned, the longest long-form improv show ever. Because it's a continual. It's a continual narrative. Like it is a continuous narrative.
Sweet.
They got the tavern that they show up every episode in. They got at the end of the first episode.
So so the last 2 years between live shows, are you keeping all the stuff that happened online as part of the story, or are you jumping right from the last live show to next week?
Oh, we're going to keep some of the characters and stuff. There are
yeah.
2 characters in particular that we brought in.
Yeah.
One, of course, is the mayor of the town of Tarkendale. His name is Baron Lord Mayor Beef. That's his name. He is he's Mayor McCheese,
Yeah.
and he talks like this. Oh, here is the Tarkendale. Here comes a MacGuffin that's going to end the world.
And I mean, he was introduced online, so we want to bring him to the live show.
Oh, he's
of
great. He's
course.
one of my
yeah.
Is he a puppet? Wait, don't give it away.
He's a picture.
find out.
He's just
Well, I
he's
mean,
just
he
a
was
JPEG.
online, so I don't know
Yeah,
what
he's
going to be.
just a JPEG. But there's another character.
voice.
If you've seen the Critical Hit Show online, there's another character who may show up live. His name is Discount Harvey. And if you know Discount Harvey, you fear Discount Harvey.
Oh God. Terrifying.
He's a very sweet character that everybody hates for some reason.
Because he's so scary.
He's just so, he's like, I found this super creepy
Yeah, he's
mask,
creepy.
and he's super creepy, but the joke is that like he's actually a really wholesome person, and he just talks like this. Who wants some soup?
He sells soup.
I said, Discount Harvey.
I mean, is there a
sells soup.
creepier vocation?
Soup.
Selling soup? I don't know.
I only eat things that are moist already.
Gross.
Yep.
Okay, is there anything else you guys want to plug before we got to sign off here?
I mean, that's all we're doing right now.
That's all we're doing.
That's all I'm doing right now.
We talked about Nikolai earlier. Did you?
Oh yes,
wanna plug
thank
something?
you. Thank you
Yes,
very much. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So yeah, I just did some amazing voiceover for a new little show that's being produced. It's going to be kind of in the realm of Robot Chicken. With D&D minis, and it's called Tabletop Mini Shorts. And now I don't know when it's coming out. It's in production right now, but keep an eye on it because I think it's going to be exceptionally good. There's the scripts are amazing. There are many episodes as far as I can tell, and there's a lot of really exceptional Vancouver voiceover actors who are being introduced. In this world, it's going to be really fun. Tabletop mini shorts.
Also, you directed a music video recently.
Yeah, I've been directing a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so I released a short film not that long ago called Red: The Story Behind the Scandal.
I'm in a scene that was cut.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
No, it was for the best. It was for the best. I'm not a strong performer.
No, you were amazing. It wasn't to do with you. But Ellen Morrison, who's in the Critical Hit Show, is one of the leads in that as well. So Red, The Story Behind the Scandal, that's really fun and really silly and very bizarre. I was very excited about that. And yeah, I direct music videos. And if you follow my Instagram and Twitter at Mighty Joanna, you can see all that stuff.
Yeah, and you can follow me at Eric Fell. Eric Fell, like the sentence, ERICFELL. You can find all sorts of stuff. I'm trying to bring back, we did another show at the Rio called Gentlemen Hecklers. It was like Mystery Science Theater. We made fun of cheesy films. And we're looking at different ways of bringing that back.
Nice.
I'm going to, and also look for me to, immediately after this, to pitch to everybody here some sort of show, because this set is amazing, and Joanna and I aren't leaving.
I know. I'm gonna stay.
That's fine.
We have lots of toys.
We got there's like raccoons that'll keep you company, and
I've got a bin of
otters
blankets in the
walls.
back if you guys need to
Perfect.
hang out for a bit.
The
Excellent.
raccoons only eat the cheesies, so there's lots of other chips.
I've already got like 6 pitch ideas for them. So write in and say, yes, you want Eric and Joanna to do shows here.
Speaking of writing in, if you guys want to give us links to all the stuff you want to plug, we can throw it in the description on the YouTube video and put it in there afterwards.
Okay.
Super
So
cool.
the
Yeah.
people, if you missed it and didn't write it down quick enough, we'll throw it on the YouTube and you can check it out later. But it is time to go. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And,
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
awesome. You two are awesome.
Yeah, this was really fun.
So tomorrow, episode 8 of Ready to Roll. We're live at 5. So tune in, and it's a really fun episode. So tune in for that. And other than that, next week, esports is on a new channel now. That's right, Questline Esports. And then Tuesday, episode 3 of Burn the North. Thursday, we're going to be playing around on Hero Forge for LFG, and then we'll see you again Wednesday, and then next Thursday, we'll see you again for another Filthy Talk. Until next time, stay tuned for the raid. Stay filthy.